said it. She doesn't say it.
January 4th. You do it.
Might just. Well, I didn't, I looked for it. I clicked on it to see how it works.
Good evening. This is the work session for Northfield City Council, December 12th of 2023. This meeting was properly advertised in accordance with Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, and in the Press of Atlantic City on January 7th of this year. May I have a flag salute led by Mayor Chow, please?
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated.
Mrs. Bucci?
Here.
Mrs. Carfagno?
Here.
Mr. Deweese?
Here.
Mr. Leeds? Mr. Notaro?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Palestina?
Here.
Mr. Chow?
Here.
Mr. President?
Thank you. Start off with our committee reports, Councilman Leeds.
We had 83 EMS calls and 275 and
Councilman DeWeese.
I had enough with the one.
Councilman Bucci.
Here we go.
Municipal Alliance, Cookies with the Cup is this Saturday at 11 a.m. at Northfield Library. The Grinch will be there. The kids had a great time last year. I believe all the spots are taken. Christine is donating the gingerbread for the kids to donate, so it's gonna be a really fun time like this year. Our next event is June 1st, and that will be hosted on Christmas. Economic Development Commission, I just want to say that, we had a really good year by getting the economic element prepared by Triad. I'm going to be recommending that we go over that again next week on today. And Mr. Mike Grayson and I met with the NJBAC, which is the New Jersey Business Action Center, and they're going to help us develop our next steps. That's it for me.
Thank you. Councilman Smith.
Thank you, Mr. President. Much before here either, what the Little League, their registrations are open. They had asked about, the new season for the field, but that's after the new year.
It's January 1 and after.
January.
Yep. Yep.
I wanted to, I think it's the standard, I wanted to see if you could give us the update for the field situation, what's going on there, and then you can email later. Later today, but maybe you could give us a quick update on what's going on there.
So basically the update is, kind of emailed you guys for this reason. But we haven't heard anything from Judge Lee's chambers in connection with our request. And you'll see in your email that we have a potential plan forward that I prefer you guys to read via the email.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Carfagno.
Thank you, President. I have Mainland's next board meeting is the 18th at 6 p.m. And there's a special meeting for the January 4th meeting for Mainland's board. It'll be held in the auditorium at 6 p.m. And all three towns are sending all three mayors to do a proclamation for the football team in the states, and also for the band, and also for the cheerleaders. So it should be a really nice celebration. If anybody wants to return, I urge all the public to go out. It'll be a pretty good show up. So,
What's the date of that?
January 4th at 6 p.m. in the auditorium at Mainland.
This year.
Hmm?
And then planning board people.
It probably.
It is.
That's it.
Okay, Councilman, thank you. Councilman Latara. No report this evening? Okay. I do not have anything to report on from my committees either. I do not have any updates on the ad hoc committees, and I believe we haven't heard anything back from the county, so I'm gonna revisit that. Nothing on those other two properties. The surveys have been sent, so we still await responses from Habitat to with their plans. Anything on the grants? Okay. Then at this time, everybody, please refer to your agendas. Is there any item on the resolutions that anyone would like to pull from the consent agenda? Okay, approval of the minutes, Councilman Notaro and Councilwoman Carfano. Resolutions, Councilman Smith and Councilman Leeds. Payment of bills, Councilwoman Bucci and Councilman DeWeese. And meeting notices, Councilwoman Carfano. At this time, we'll open the meeting to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on any topic, we ask you please step forward, state your city of residence for the record.
Good evening, Mayor. Paul McSorley, Northfield, 614 Dolphin Avenue, Wilmington, Presenda.
How are you?
I work for the Mike Presenda. You look as like, gotta be related.
My brother.
Okay. So my property on 614 Dolphin Avenue, it's a misshapen property. I got a little under 2 acres of land. There's a piece of my property that abuts next to block 11, where Habitat for Humanity, I believe, is got some plans for the future, but there's a long strip of land that I abut up next to it, and it's thin. I spoke to the zoning gentleman, and if possible, I could get this to approximately 275 feet by 30 feet piece of land. It's a strip. There's a piece of strip that does nothing. It's kind of like a waste, but then there's another piece that's connected to block lot 11. If I could get this piece of land, I can make a driveway out of it, and in theory, put another house, a taxable house, on the back end of my property with all the utilities and so forth. So I'm looking into that. This is the first step in looking into that. Then I would go to the next step. So it's I gave you drawings for most everybody. I'm looking to get that piece of property. I don't know how about to go about it, other than asking for it. You possibly could give it to me, and then you would have a taxable piece of land. It's 275 by 30, a little thin strip that part of it again is useless to anyone except for maybe me. And then I could put a house over there where I would actually reside, and then my son one day would take over my house, and we wouldn't have to live with them.
And your and your, which one is your lot?
My lot is that big
1201?
strange one, 1203, right next to the big 66 there.
Oh, okay.
It's all, it's a
Oh, it's
flag
like,
lot.
yeah, it is quite a shape.
Yeah.
Okay,
This-
well, as I just mentioned, and you know that that one lot is Habitat. It is designated as part of a Habitat project, so
Mhm.
there's a couple of hurdles that we need to go through
Okay,
to find out if that's even doable.
okay,
There has to be a subdivision too, right? So
Well,
that would guess that would be on. full.
yes, that would be my answer.
well, his would be, and that piece of land, are you is your intent to purchase it or just get an easement?
Well, easement would be great, but I would be, I don't know, it would slice into that Habitat
Okay,
land a little bit, but
so what, yeah, I just,
half
So we know-
behooves me to have it.
so
the
we
other
know
half-
what we have to look into.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the next step would be, but this is the first step in my
Well, that is the first step on our end, is to find out if it's
doable.
possible.
Yeah.
On our end,
have to subdivide lot 11.
yeah,
Somebody would.
yeah, that's what it sounds like, so that's,
And we'd have to see if Habitat would need it to Habitat. You know,
We
they
also
might
have to
need it.
offer it to all adjacent property owners. We can't
Right.
just offer it to Mr. McSorley.
And it may foil the Habitat plan.
So that would
as well.
be-
So we don't know until.
We just had surveys done that include that strip, so we don't know what their development plans are. So we need to wait to hear back from them to see if that land is disposable.
Fine. I'm in the running, I just wanna, tell me what.
Well, yeah, so
And
we can find out what the possibilities are. As we said, Habitat's doing plans right now. That's part of a project for affordable housing that we're required to provide.
Mhm.
So
how many units would go there?
that's what they're doing is that they're just developing the plan for, I'm not sure what that one is, which that one could be either a 4-unit townhouse type of thing or a 3-unit. They're working out the plans to see what will fit.
I got it. It's just quite a strange shape, the way that it ends up with this long tail,
It-
and I could utilize the tail,
And it would benefit everybody. If it benefits everybody, it may work out to be a win-win all around.
okay.
So we'll keep,
Thank
instead of it being wasted by them, if they're not gonna use it, we'll inquire.
you.
We'll at least inquire. Thanks, Paul. Is there anyone else from the public wishing to speak?
Good evening, Ian Brady. I believe everybody here knows me. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Linwood, correct? Yeah.
Yes,
It's
Linwood,
just
I'm
your
sorry.
city.
I'm sorry.
We don't want to give anybody's address out anymore.
Absolutely, yes. I appreciate the phone calls over the weekend trying to update this. I just have some questions.
Yes,
And as we go forward, I understand if we do go forward with this, they're gonna want someone there, city employee, to do this. So I understand
Yes.
that'll kind of limit times when we can do these things. Would that cover like strictly motorized tools of any kind? I mean, it is simple as like bringing a rake out. I'm just thinking for maintenance things and stuff like that. To what level does that?
So part of what we're dealing with internally are issues of labor law.
Mhm.
So a lot of the employees that we're talking about that may or may not oversee this time are unionized.
Mhm.
So this council has to be very careful, so as not to create a grievance and
Mhm.
say, yes, you can go out there with a rake, and then next thing we know, we have a unionized labor grievance being filed against the city because there's volunteers out there raking. So there's a lot of issues at play here. We have city land, we have volunteer labor, which is being contemplated.
Mhm.
We have unionized labor, which is in the mix. We have insurance issues, we have indemnification issues. And we have expenditure issues. In other words, what is the city spending to get this done?
Mhm.
And we have certain donation issues. A lot of play. I can tell you that I believe council is very interested in this,
Mhm.
and that we will hopefully ultimately get there. We just have to make sure that we're not creating lawsuits for ourselves along the way. You know, and that involves, as general city solicitor, I don't handle the labor law issues. And your question, posed to this council regarding, labor and unionized issues, I would ultimately defer to labor council. So I'm not 100% comfortable letting them answer that question tonight because I don't know. I'm sure they don't know, but we can certainly get that answer for you.
Okay. I mean, it was just also forethought going forward. I mean, as the seasons change, leaves fall, things like that, ideally you want to clear them out. I know some of the other courses, there is an issue with them using anything motorized. But if it's non-motorized, rakes and things like that, just to clear the pathways, but again, I know they're all,
probably-
every situation is different.
Again, an issue that involves our city laborers. And we certainly don't want to step on those toes. I can imagine in a perfect world, we can have these answers within the time between now and say mid next month, which is going to give you plenty of time before spring hits to do your work. Or whoever's going to do it. I just need to get some of the questions answered before we have a resolution. And make sure that we're not offending labor council, we're not offending, the union, etc. So, all different cogs of the machine that have to come together. And like I said, I do think they do come together. It's just a matter of sitting here tonight. I don't think they come together enough. With some additional discussion, I think they do.
And we still have to get together to walk that second part of the report, and you want, walk that campground area. I want to go through the back part of the Queen to see exactly how many big trees may have to come in, if any at all.
There are areas that we can't even walk in right now. I mean, I haven't gone into some of those places because I would legitimately have to bring a machete or something with me to clear some of these portions
That's
to
the
get
other
back.
piece, this is we're gonna have to have some sort of a clear map as to, where we're gonna be, where these, holes.
I mean, the generalized areas are, but even yesterday, now that there is less foliage out there, I went out for a walk yesterday and walking through some of those areas. There was one area in particular that I just don't see as being viable for one of the holes. After all that rain we had, and it was a good opportunity, it was an area
Oh, okay.
I couldn't get to when everything was in bloom and blossom, and now that it's there. But there's an area now that I would actually have to rethink minor adjustments, or maybe just tweaking the whole.
So just as long as we can get, closer to where we were, we can get a better idea of what we're looking at, way of what has to be cleared out. That's-
Yeah, I mean, there's some areas like the campground where it's virtually nothing. I mean, just a couple little twigs, minor sapling trees, things like that have to go. And then there's more extensive stuff. Some of the things we walked through,
Right.
that was light where we walked through.
That's,
compared
that's
to,
what we need to wrap our head around that, to come up with a clear map, a clear plan as to what we're gonna do out there, so we can submit it to the public.
Real quick, couple questions.
Mhm.
Think of a golf course, and I think I'm thinking through it. On general, how wide is the fairway on a disc golf course?
I mean, depending on, generally, a couple,
20 to 30 feet.
at some points wider. I mean,
Can we
and
not
again,
have
you're trying to
people-
use the natural terrain as much as possible. And the
Last
last,
one, have him come up and just identify, if he's gonna answer like distance and location questions.
Paul Ritter, I'm from Hamilton, New Jersey.
Hi, Paul.
Hi,
About 20 feet wide, you said?
Normally about 20 feet wide, we're shooting through the woods, we're trying to throw through the trees. So really, there's not that much of a clearing when you're thinking golf. You're thinking you need that 50 feet of space, nothing there. We have like just a couple feet in front of us, and there are trees in front. So
What's the heaviest that you throw?
heaviest
weight wise, they usually measure the grams,
178 grams.
178 grams. So I mean.
How many pounds is that?
One 70 pounds, 130.
I can come get through this. to the car.
I mean, man,
And how long is the hole on it?
oh, that can range. I mean, from what I had proposed, they range anywhere from 200 feet to up to 800 feet. Some of the ones I have proposed on there. And it's a par 3, 4, 5. It's just very similar to golf.
The long ones are 800, the shorter ones are 200.
Yes.
Yeah. Some of them are very, there's places where it's a window of maybe 10 feet, and other places where just naturally, feet are 40, 50 feet wide. It's really, we're the last thing in the world we want to do is cut down any live healthy trees of any significant size. We're talking anything coming down is 6 inches wide or smaller. It's just this little stuff, and mainly it's bushes and underbrush, things like that. It's really, so there are a couple places where small saplings and trees are just have to come down, just make it impossible to get through some of these areas.
And your plan for the tee box is natural rampant, right?
What I proposed, it's essentially,
Right.
I was trying to use turf. So basically the same turf you'd see on a high school football field, and that just lays on top of dirt and is attached to a 4x4 frame. So it's as simple as undo a couple screws and it's gone, it's back to dirt again. You know, most places, older places or some, they use concrete slabs. I mean, that's too permanent, it's too much of the difficulty and the cost is a lot more. Plus, to get the material out to some of these types of places. This is gonna literally just be a piece of turf on top of a bed of sand and 4x4 wood frame.
Baskets, are they sunk in concrete?
They are.
Deep are
About 18 inches, but 18 inches to 2 feet down. I mean, it comes set with like 2 separate pipes. The bottom pipe has a lock where you can put a padlock on for the ones we're doing, so you can theoretically move them, replace them if something happens. But like I said, the baskets I have proposed, they have a 25-year lifespan on them. They're galvanized, they're very durable.
You stay on year round and too.
Oh, they can stay out in any weather. I mean, they're durable, super durable. We could get some cheaper ones, but then the replacement is 3 or 4 years, 5 years. They're lighter, easier damage. These are pretty sturdy. They're pretty significant.
For the money you're talking about, for the baskets, certainly reasonable.
Yeah, I believe, I mean, with freight and everything, $6,700. That's before if I buy, they get a 10% discount. So, was that for only for 18? Yeah, 18 baskets, and these are pretty much like mere, really good ones. They're going to survive for a long
I have a couple questions.
time. Yes, sir.
Is this going to be supervised?
No.
Okay. Okay, and as far as the maintenance, who's going to be responsible for maintenance?
I mean, ultimately, I would love to, like many of the courses around here, just have volunteers that come and play these, that do it like most of the other courses. And the maintenance is pretty minimal. Springtime, you're doing a little trimming back. Once the major course is open, it's literally just cutting back a couple vines and branches and things like that, and then using the fall, just coming out and either raking or blowing the leaves off the fairways.
And most of the be like maintaining the bicycle trail.
I mean, most clubs, they do one weekend a month where they get a couple volunteers to come and just, because things can break. It's something could happen.
Right.
But I mean, all these courses around here locally, there's clubs and they maintain them because they want to continue to use them. And there's a good community. I mean, you have people here tonight from a couple of the different areas. I didn't get to call all the dogs off. I was trying to bring a lot of people, but we'll do that in another meeting.
So where are some of these municipalities that you have this course?
So there's Amanda's Field is an upper township. Stockton University has a course right there. Rio Grande has a course. There is one at the zoo. It's a little bit smaller, kind of minimal. And then the next closest one would be up in Ocean County.
Hmm.
And then everything else is out west. There are some in Vineland area, but you're talking a pretty significant distance.
So
beyond
we'll
that.
be the only one in Atlantic County at that point.
Aside from Stockton.
I said, yeah, except stock.
Stockton.
Okay.
And which is a great course, but I mean, the way I have this proposed to this, and people will travel for these too. People will go across, I mean, people go out of state to play some of these courses, a lot like golfers would go to places, so. In Colorado to play, so, I mean, and people go on vacation and will play at destinations around there, so. I know, I mean,
What do they do in terms of, is there any signed form that they have to do in terms of indemnifying any liability? For example, if they trip over a stump or anything like that?
places don't, but at the same time, Mayor, Your Honor, if I go to Birch Grove right now.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, but I did that, but this is obviously an activity here that's,
I mean, I don't see it,
It's labeled as a passive activity, so therefore it is along the same laws as a walking path. So
Mhm.
therefore, if you just put a hole for me to, or chains for me to throw at along the walking path, it's along the same lines as a path. It is not anything that we need an active quote unquote field for.
Okay.
This is just set up the baskets and we will come.
okay,
Disc golfers will show up.
no sign or anything that says that, is any liability will be on them, it's not the city.
Those are details that we'll have to work.
Okay, well, I was just curious, yes.
I mean, they will see, I mean, there are courses where, they identify signs, flying objects. I mean, none of these are proposed to be in generalized walking areas,
Yeah.
but I mean, just like a baseball is intended to stay on the field, you get a pop fly, a foul ball every once in a while.
Gonna be open to the general public, it's club rate, private club rate.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is open. to everyone. Encourage for everyone to come and enjoy it. It would also be one unique thing with this course. There is no course anywhere around here that could be considered within walking distance of a
Mhm.
municipality or something like that. That was one thing that's gonna make this course unique. I mean, how many young adults and kids and people can walk to Birch Grove Park or get there very easily from the bike path? Stockton is isolated. Amanda's Field, there's a little bit of community around there. Rio Grande, again, isolated. This is the only course that would be like this around here. You could theoretically have a decent amount of foot traffic coming.
I appreciate all your time and all the information. I think Ms. Rosenna has a good amount so that we can tie all those loose ends up.
One of the things that, Senator said, I wanted to get clarification. As far as them going out and doing any type of cleanup or anything like that. It's not perfect. There was a political party that went out and did a whole cleanup thing. There was no issues with labor and all that other stuff. How come they're there?
I didn't know about that. I'm not prepared to answer that.
I just, yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of the things that.
And I'm not trying to cast stones and things like that, but I mean, who's on the field for football games?
I don't know. It used to be that, it used to be the group, city may do it now. I don't know. I don't think they do.
There's a lot of private citizens that cut grass out there.
Well, and as I said,
And
these
I'm
are,
not trying to,
those are just things that we need to work through.
oh, I understand. I mean,
Make sure they don't come
this is
back and
the part
bite
where
us.
If I walk through right now and I trip on a root, which is very easily to do, I mean, I fell in the water yesterday. You know, in a little creek, walking through the woods, but, I mean, you know, those things that happen when you're walking in a park and on trails and on bike trails and things like that, so. I understand, I understand the Grat Tomahawk, we want to dot the i's, cross the t's. Yes, yeah, I understand.
Gonna get planned together, get out there, finish the walk before this evening, exactly where we're gonna, how it's gonna play out. And then, then come back to council and have, more answers.
And I'm happy to go on that walk. Actually, anything.
I would love to have anybody and everybody that's willing to
Yeah.
come out and just see it, if we can schedule a time, nights, weekends, whatever, I'm available anytime to meet the group out there.
It'll probably be during the week myself and for, superintendent of public works, but once we get walking through there, if anybody wasn't doing during the weekend, we can certainly work that out, but, I'll let the superintendents, public works be there as well.
Quinn?
Since I originally proposed this idea 3 years ago, I would like to be included in any events and something if I like.
As long as we don't have a quorum.
Bring your frisbee.
And I did ask you to meeting. Or.
He sent it to me. I have it. I'll get.
I did, there's another updated one, and then out now, even after this weekend, there's like another proposal I would like to put out there. Another change to it, having fully seen,
Okay.
now they can get back where things were, so.
Keep in touch and I'll forward it to everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Mary Foltz, resident of Northfield, also serving as president of the Northfield Business Association. I wanted to come and to share, number one, that the Northfield Business Association is thriving already. We have about 40 members. And we have grown to be part of the 7 business associations that are in Atlantic County. That we're now working together which the 7 are Greater Atlantic City Chamber of Commerce, Brigantine Chamber of Commerce, Hamilton Chamber of Commerce, Veteran Business Association, Summers Point Business Association, Mays Landing Merchant, and us. We are working together collaboratively to submit a proposal for state appropriation funding to Senator Forrestina. I've been asking different members of council and even in the community, what could we do? What could we use to support to enhance our community? And it was brought up Mr. Brady's idea, and I just wanted to publicly say that we, the Northfield Business Association, fully support that initiative because we see the economic impact that it could have. Doing research, if we were to get to the point to do ordinance, and even if not, you just heard the fact that there's no other one local. We want people to come, grab lunch at Molly's Kitchen, go to the park, and so we see it as a huge opportunity. So we just want to support that. And we also want to work closely with the city council, and we're going to reach out to the school. What could we do to support? And how can we bring businesses and council and the school and the community together? So we're really looking forward to that continued strong relationship and growing the business association. It's been our first year, officially launched in March, and we're going into 2024 with a greater vision of what we can do, but we want to support and we want the viability of our city's gems, which is Birch Grove Park, the bike path, and all the communities. So we're here to support that, and Mr. Grady and his initiative.
Thank you. And as Councilwoman Bucci had said, she's proposing we move forward as we have been. So that'll be a part of our discussion at budget time to continue that.
So when it comes back to the budget with this state appropriation funding, the 7 of our communities that I mentioned, we're going to come up with one proposal and submit it. there's no guarantee, but we want them to
Yeah.
know the need and how we can have some viability with our communities, so. Please reach out to me if there's anything that is outside of your budget that we see as a need. I want to include that meeting with Superintendent Performance next week to see if something that we can support the school with. But we know that there's a strong relationship between all three entities that we want to continue to grow that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Is there anyone in Zoom wishing to speak? Please raise your Zoom hand. Boy,
Boyd, 117 Northfield Avenue. Just want to take a moment to thank all of you for your continued service to the city. Okay, wish you all a joyous holiday season and a happy and productive new year. Go Habitat. Let's get done.
thank you very much, Mr. Boyd, and to you as well.
Good seeing you here every week, or every meeting.
Anyone else? Seeing no one, the public session is now closed. Motion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we'll adjourn the work session. Actually, I'm recording, you go out there, right? Oh, wait, don't.
Still here?
Right?
Yes.
Good evening. This is the regular session for Northfield City Council, December 12th of 2023. This meeting was properly advertised in accordance with Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, and in the Press of Atlantic City on January 7th of this year. May I have a flag salute led by Mayor Chow, please?
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ladies and gentlemen, let us remember and keep in our prayers those serving in our nation's armed forces, especially our troops away from home and our first responders. Thank you. Please be seated.
Thank you. Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Bucci?
Here.
Mrs. Carfano?
Here.
Mr. Deweese?
Here.
Mr. Leeds?
Here.
Mr. Notaro?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Palestina?
Yes.
Mr. Chow?
Here.
Sorry. Mr. President.
I forgot what I was supposed to say.
Approval minutes.
Approval of minutes?
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for the reading and approval of the minutes of November 28th, 2023.
Not reading.
Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. Approval, dispense with the,
Reading.
really.
Nobody wants that.
Dispense with the approval of the minutes of November 28th, 2023. They're on file in the clerk's office and were distributed to council.
Dispense with the reading.
No.
Not the approval. You said dispense with approval. of minutes. So, I mean,
You got there.
start over. You're making a
It
meeting
says
while
approval. You want the reading or the approval?
Approval for the approval.
Approval for- dispense with the reading.
Approval to dispense with the reading of minutes, not the. dispense with the-
Here you go. You do this.
Renee, you take this.
Go ahead, take this one.
I would like to dispense
I don't know.
with the meeting minutes for November 28th, 20. We're, I said, I would make a motion.
First time it's ever happened.
Motion to, why did you say dispense? I'd like to make the necessary motion to approve the minutes from November 28th, 2023. They have been properly advertised and they are located in the clerk's office.
We don't advertise. Just say,
Dispense with.
motion to approve the minutes without formal reading. Just say it.
Motion to approve the minutes from November 28th, 2023,
Without formal reading.
without formal reading.
Ah,
Second.
Second.
all in favor?
Who's the second?
Renee was first, this was.
It's horrible.
That was a first.
Jeez.
Mr. Mayor.
Boy, you really got burned, didn't you?
You good?
Thank you, Council President, council members. Let me say that our holiday tree lighting was somewhat of a success due to extenuating circumstances. It was raining that night off and on, but we had a nice crowd. Everyone enjoyed the refreshments, and I do want to thank Councilwoman Bucci and Councilman Leeds and Councilman DeWeese who were able to make that meeting that night or that event that night. So all is well on that event. And again, I would like to thank the police department and our public works for all the work that they did in helping to set up the meeting or the event itself. Did you have a question, Councilman?
No.
Oh, okay. Let me just go and my next report is regarding municipal court update. I received this email from them and let's see, let me go to it here. Bear with me, please. I'm sorry. Now I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Nope, that's not it.
It's like the Twilight Zone tonight, isn't it? It is.
Oh, you just see the
I
email that
started.
we're having an update? Okay, that's fine. I'm glad you did that. Let's see, next one. The holiday lighting, the mayor's holiday lighting contest has been established again this year, and I want to thank Shannon for all the help that she's done to organize it. I believe, Shannon, if I'm correct, we have 24 participants this year. It's a little bit more. No businesses this year, but that's okay. You know, we're going to go move forward with the event. So the map will be on Facebook and Wednesday. Okay. My next report is regarding the Green Acres grant opportunity. The Green Acres program is pleased to announce its 2024 funding round, opening up to municipalities and other organizations. Grants for completely inclusive playgrounds is included. These are the essentials. Local government can apply for a 75% matching grant for complete inclusive playgrounds. Awards are anticipated to be between 500,000 to 750,000 for municipalities and so forth the county. So the deadline is February 7th, 2024. If council wishes to pursue it, that is available. Okay,
February 7th.
February 7th of next year, right? Let me just that. Let me just go to my email here. You recall that at the last month's council meeting, the council approved what I had made a recommendation to Dawn for an energy efficient study free of charge through Atlantic City Electric. And I want to thank Dawn for pursuing the grant. And I'm happy to say that we are in the progress. So if you come here, you might see that some of the people working, but we received a $37,134 and odd cents towards the cost of an $84,352 grant in upgrade. The city's portion of $47,215 and some odd cents is paid over 5 years with 0 interest. So this was a great grant to replace the lighting and other energy efficient upgrades for our city. And as a result, we will be saving an estimate of approximately $5,000 in annual energy costs. So that was a great grant that I found when I went to the mayor's convention in Atlantic City. I want to remind everyone I know the police department and we have also advertised about the recent break-ins of cars within the city of Northfield, as well as the other communities are starting to see it. It's so important that I know people take it for advantage for whatever reason. For example, they will leave their car fobs in the car, and all they have to do is break the window, and they can tell that the car fobs are in there and steal it. Another method was that in certain vehicle models or companies, like Hyundai, is that correct? Hyundai, they have found that if they break in the rear windows, it doesn't necessarily activate the car alarm. So, but either way, you know, some of these, and people leaving garage door opens, you know, these are some of the things that these people, whoever they are taking advantage of. So I want to remind the public, especially in Northfield, to be conscious of the fact that we must be more aware of the and of the needs to block the cars without their keys leaving in there, the car fobs and so forth. Okay. I just want to thank the chief of police for the diligence that he is applying towards minimizing, and his administration, excuse me, in minimizing the overtime. For last month of November, our overtime was $1,750 and some odd cents. So in the past, we've had some larger numbers, and I think in the reports that I've seen, he has really tried to minimize the amount of overtime without affecting services through our police department. As far as the police stats for the month of November, there were 25 thefts, 11 adult arrests, only, 2 juvenile arrests, motor vehicle stops, 176. Summonses that were issued were 159, crash reports, 26, gun permits are 20. And officers initiated calls of 1,385 and hours spent on calls reports, 529 hours. So for a total call for service of 1,752. So great job, chief. I know you're doing a wonderful job there in that respect there. That is all I have for a report, Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Nasir. No updates? Sure. Good. And at this time, we'll open this meeting to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on any topic, we ask you please step forward and state your name and city of residence for the record. Anyone in Zoom, please raise your Zoom hand.
No.
Seeing no one, the public session is now closed.
Council President, I forgot one more thing. I always do. I received from the ACUA an update as far as the 2024 budget or bill. In accordance with the contract for collection services for the city of Northfield, the contract costs will increase by 3.48% based on the annual increase in the CPI-U of the Philadelphia SMSA for October 23rd. Effective March of 2004, the annual fee for the following collection service will be as follows. For recycling collection, $172,981 and some odd cents. Yard waste collection, $165,974 and 92 cents and odd cents, and poll charge of $161.30. If we have any questions, we can pass it on to the Atlantic County Utilities Authority. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. All matters considered on the consent agenda, considering routine in nature, and having been reviewed by council will be enacted by one motion. Any item may be removed from the consent agenda at the request of any council member, and if so removed, be treated as one separate matter. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certificate of availability of funds. May I have a motion to vote by consent agenda for resolutions 226/2023 through 233/2023?
Make a necessary motion to adopt resolution 226/2023, 2023 to 233/2023.
Second.
Here we go. The vote by consent agenda. Come in.
No.
Sorry, Mary.
Vote
Vote
by
by-
consent agenda.
vote
By consent agenda. We'll adopt it on the next one. Get paged. This is contagious. This is. Something's going on here. I don't know. There was a Christmas party before this.
Okay, in any event,
The first is to authorize the collective voting on the package of resolutions. So you motion to vote by consent agenda and then you motion to adopt that package.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr.
Motion to adopt the consent agenda for resolution 226/2023 to 233.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Mrs. Bucci, Mrs. Carfagno,
Yes.
Mr. Deweese, Mr. Leeds, Mr. Notaro,
Here.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Palestina.
Yes,
Motion carries for the adoption of the consent agenda.
thank you. Payment of bills.
I can make the necessary payment. $361,524.31.
Roll call.
Mrs. Bucci?
Yes.
Mrs. Carfagno?
Yes.
Mr. Deweese?
Yes.
Mr. Leeds? Mr. Notaro?
Yes.
Mr. Smith? Mr. Palestina?
Yes,
Motion carries for the payment of bills.
meeting notices.
Our next city council meeting will be January 2nd, 2024 at 6 P.M. This will be our reorganization meeting.
Motion.
All in favor? Aye.
I don't even do that anymore.